It has been 30 years since the last Jeep Wagoneer, the iconic Woody that would take you and your entire family and your entire friend's family to school. And now there's a brand new one. That's right, behind me is the all-new Jeep Grand Wagoneer. And in this video, I'm gonna take you around the outside, talk to you about the price, show you some of the cool gadgets and gizmos on the inside, and talk to you about the insane engine underneath the hood. Now, a little bit of basics. The new Jeep Grand Wagoneer is based on an all-new platform, and it shares that platform with its little sibling, the Wagoneer. And actually, check out my dad's video on the Wagoneer if you want some more info on the more affordable model. But this one, this is the top dog. It starts at about $86,000, $87,000 and goes all the way up to $103,000. This is meant to compete with the luxury brands like the Lincoln Navigator and the Cadillac Escalade. So starting in the front, a very different look than those competitors. It still is, of course, a Jeep, which means we have the 7-slotted grille, but interestingly, in the front here, there's no Jeep logo. Instead, it says Wagoneer. There are 3 different series of Wagoneer, so Series 1, Series 2, Series 3. The higher the number, the more luxurious the Jeep. And coming along the side here, check out these wheels. This is pretty nuts. These are 22-inch wheels wrapped in Goodyear tires. This is not gonna be your typical Jeep where you're probably gonna, go hit the Rubicon. This is a much more luxurious, a much more elegant-oriented SUV with some cool technology. Now, I grabbed some shots of the rolling chassis. This is a body-on-frame vehicle, so it's not just a Grand Cherokee, it's a whole, basically, truck underneath. And underneath the hood is something really special. A 6.4-liter V8, a Hemi V8 with over 470 horsepower. Basically the same engine you'd find in like the Durango SRT or the Challenger SRT, but in this case, it's made it to a ginormous, super luxurious SUV. And when I say super luxurious, I mean super luxurious. Let's take a look at the interior. My dad had a chance to check out the Wagoneer, but this Grand Wagoneer is on a whole nother level. Now, when the concept came out, we're like, yeah, really cool interior, they're not gonna do it. They did it. They built this insane interior with up to 7 screens. 7, that's right. So let me show you the main screen here. So here we've got a 12.1-inch touchscreen display. This is Uconnect 5, it controls all your infotainment. Below that, we have another screen which is in charge of things like climate control, or, check this out, massaging seats. That's right, waterfall, lower back, extending massages on both the front seats. There's an optional screen which you can get here in front of the passenger, and then there are more in the back, which we'll show in a second. Now, this is a serious level of opulence in a Jeep. I love the wood trim here across the dashboard. I like the Grand Wagoneer that's actually inset there into the wood. The seats have this almost pleated leather, super comfortable, super squishy. Now, the center console does remind me quite a bit of the Navigator with these 2 extended leather armrests. And then this opens, and here we've got a giant freezer. Check that out, how insane is that? Closing this up, you can actually hide the cup holders away and then get one massive pane of wood here. This does have a rotary selector, so similar to other vehicles in the, I guess, Stellantis now lineup, like the Ram trucks, it does have a rotary selector. This one's more kind of high-end than some of the pickup trucks. And then different drive modes, rock, sand, mud, snow, auto, sport. Over here we have air suspension, 4-corner air suspension on the Jeep Grand Wagoneer. Now, steering wheel, really high quality, also with a wood inset. Haven't seen that before on any other Jeep. We've got a gear limit indicator here, so if you're towing, you can downshift. Adaptive cruise controls here on the left and the right side of the steering wheel, and then an info screen here. Up here, full panoramic sunroof, and even one for the rear passengers. Now, if you're thinking, this doesn't look like your ordinary Jeep, you'd be right, especially when we step into the back seats. I hate to say it, but this might be the place to be in the new Grand Wagoneer. So starting off, captain's chairs in the rear here with this ginormous center console and a 10.25-inch screen here in the middle with climate controls, heated seats, ventilated seats, super high-end, super high-quality looking display here. That's another screen of the 7, and then 10.1-inch screens in front of both rear passengers if you want to watch a movie as you get chauffeured along. A lot of kind of almost Mercedes-like touches in here, and I'm talking like Maybach levels. Check this out. I like this chrome trim that extends on the back of both of the two front seats. Of course, the seats here recline. You can fully recline them. Does this open? This is my first look into the rear here. Good God, look how deep that is. That's berserk. That's my whole arm going down there. Super big cubby. This also slides back with some additional storage. Of course, you gotta have your USB ports because it is the top dog luxury Jeep. And check out these sunshades that extend up for the rear passengers, just so you don't get too much sun on your face. All right, so let's head into the back of the Grand Wagoneer. The seats, of course, fold down. Now this is gonna be a test. Interestingly enough, there's actually 3 seats back here, not just 2. It's hard to express just how big this vehicle is. I mean, if you're thinking full-size Escalade, you're thinking in the right direction, because back here you can sit 3 abreast. Pretty good headroom. I'm 6 foot 1 inch tall, decent headroom. I've got another sunroof back here. I think these seats, oh yes, these seats do recline, air vents and USB ports for even the rearmost passengers. Let's take a look at the trunk. Coming around to the rear here, LED taillights. I think they look really cool. Something I love about the Wagoneer and the Grand Wagoneer, so many of these new SUVs have these sloped rear ends. They're supposed to be sporty. Not these Jeeps. Look at this. Bam! Straight up and down, which is great for maximizing cargo capacity. All right, so here's the Grand Wagoneer key here. Interestingly enough, I can double click it and the whole air suspension will settle down if I wanna get stuff in and out, easier loading. All right, pop it open. Pretty good room actually in the back of this Jeep, and you can of course fold the seats by just clicking a couple buttons here in the rear. I like this small attention to detail. So for example, these cargo tie downs, they aren't some plastic thing, they're actually real metal. Really nice to see. Underneath here, we've got a little bit of additional storage. This is a massive place to hang out. Certainly you could put a lot of stuff in there with the seats folded, and towing capacity, something like 10,000 pounds. That's nuts, that's crazy. I mean, that's like more than some full-size pickup trucks, and you have 7 screens and massaging seats. Pretty cool. So what do I think of the Jeep Grand Wagoneer? Well, it's super hard to say. I'm here at, is it Connor Assembly? I think this is Connor Assembly. This is where they used to build the Dodge Viper, which is pretty cool. And this is such a super early first look at this vehicle. I had such a short amount of time, it's really hard to establish an opinion, but first impressions are pretty killer. I'm really excited to see what this thing looks like on the road, and just the commanding driving design of it it's really unique. And I love also the slanted grille. It's way over the top in a lot of different ways, but it's good to see that Jeep is finally competing with some of the other big names out of Detroit when it comes to ultra luxurious 3-row SUVs. Well, as always, this has been Tommy with the Fast Lane Car, or is this a truck? Can be both, body on frame. As always, check out TFL Car and TFLtruck.com for the latest and greatest in new car reviews.